Hey everybody, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today we're going to be playing through Ninja Gaiden for the NES, a game that I have covered many times before on this channel. But with this new Let's Play format, it's given me an excuse to revisit some of my old Let's Plays. I'm going to be trying to alternate between games I've already done before, as well as games that I haven't learned before. And so hopefully there will be a good balance between stuff you guys have already seen before and new stuff that I'm just getting to know for the first time. So, but yeah, this is Ninja Gaiden. It's one of my favorite games of all time. One of my absolute favorite games on the NES, definitely in my top 5 without a doubt, and it's probably one of my most played NES games. This is a notoriously difficult game. For anyone that can't beat this or feels like you'll never be able to beat this, I don't blame you. I've been there. But the purpose of this video is going to be to show you how to play through the game relatively casually. I know a lot of more advanced techniques, like speedrun techniques and stuff like that. I have actually learned how to speedrun this game as well. It's one of the only games I've done that. But what I'm going to be doing on this playthrough is just doing sort of a straightforward casual playthrough, trying to use relatively casual strategies that I think anybody should be able to pick up on their own. And if not, that's what this video is here for, is to show you various strategies to help you get through the game. So this is going to apply to people that are trying to learn Ninja Gaiden for the first time, or if you're an old player that hasn't played in a long time and you're rusty. I know what that's like too with Ninja Gaiden. Hopefully this will get you up to speed quickly so you can get back to getting through the game consistently and having a really good time with it. Again, it's a very brutal game, but it's one of those games where when you know exactly what to do, you know your strategies, you know how the mechanics work, and you play smart, that is a key factor. It's really not that hard to go through, but it's the getting to that point is the part that people struggle with. And so a lot of people end up playing this game, getting a few levels in, but never even finishing it. But yeah, so we're gonna go through the whole thing. This is not gonna be a story mode playthrough. I'm not gonna be showing off the cutscenes like we are here in the introduction. So if you want all the story and stuff like that, I have other playthroughs here on my channel, and there are lots of other, commentary-less long plays that you can get on YouTube as well. Hell, there's probably a cinematic exhibition or something like that someone's probably cobbled together, and if not, maybe I should do that. But alright, let's go ahead and hit the start button and get on with this. Ninja Gaiden for the NES. Oh, such a good game. So Ninja Gaiden is actually a pretty basic game when it comes to your basic mechanics. You basically run left or you run right, and you press B to attack. You press A to jump, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Much like Castlevania, you'll get special weapons. This right here is actually a throwing star, and just like in Castlevania, you press up and attack to use it, just like so. Now, there's this stuff called spiritual energy, according to the instruction manual, which is denoted right below your timer. And what that does is actually gives you ammunition for your special weapon. So you're, at this point, the throwing star. The throwing star I don't really ever use. What I like to use though is this guy right here, which is, I think the manual calls it the jump and slash or something. It doesn't make any sense, but in the retro game community we like to call it the spin slash. And so what that does is when you press B in the air, Ryu, your character here, he'll actually do this spin slash, basically this slash that rotates around you, and it does insane damage, and it'll cut through multiple enemies at once, and it'll kill bosses in pretty much one hit. And speaking of bosses, we're going to try to kill in one hit. Well, I'm going to demonstrate something here first before we do that, but we can kill this guy almost instantly. But there's actually a little trick I wanted to show you guys with this guy. Notice that his sword actually does not hurt me. This is actually an interesting thing of note on this boss. This sword does not hurt you. So this is a really good boss for beginner players. They just actually won't get hurt by that. But with the spin slash, boom, just like that, we can kill him pretty much instantly. Even if he's got a full health bar, it'll take away, as long as you attack correctly with it, it should take away pretty much all of his health. Now, sometimes if you don't do it just right, it'll leave one block left over, but still you've done, 90% of his health bar. So there's these orange types of spiritual energy, and then there are these blue types. So the blue types give you 5, and the orange ones give you 10. These guys right here, these are actually point icons, and so they come in both blue and orange variants as well. Now, I've actually gotten the fire wheel right here. This is actually a really nice weapon because it goes up at an angle. Now, there's also another weapon up here. I believe the windmill throwing star, as they call it. This guy is really awesome too because you can throw it and then jump over it and just keep it looping back and forth like this. Mechanically, Ninja Gaiden seems really basic at first, but there are some more advanced mechanics involved here, and the windmill throwing star is one of them. So I've got this bat here coming from the left. I can try to jump and slash it. Now these things right here, you can't actually climb up and down. You'll notice that on some parts I can climb up and down ladders. Parts where there are no ladders, you cannot climb up and down. You have to actually flip up manually. So, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But there we go, we got the spin slash again. Now you'll notice that I'm actually attacking still, even though I've got the spin slash equipped. So when you press B in the air, you automatically use the spin slash, and you use 5 spiritual energy, or ninpo as the speedrunners like to call it. Now if you press it down and B in the air, you can attack normally without actually wasting your ammunition. And what I need to do here is actually get to the end, and I'm going to pick up this weapon right here, which is the, again, windmill throwing star, because there's a little trick I like to do here, which allows me to get through this first section, wouldn't say faster, but a little more stylistically pleasing. So we throw the throwing star right there, we jump, and we jump, and we jump, and attack, time our attacks just right, and boom, we just got through that whole section with just that one throwing star. And the reason I didn't really need to keep my spin slash there is because I'm going to end up getting a invincibility power-up right here. So this is the invincibility fire wheel, which will basically kill anything that you touch, and it is a temporary power-up, but it's really good for that section because you'll notice that there is that machine gunner on one of those bottom columns, and he could be extremely dangerous to try to get past if you don't have that fire wheel or the spin slash. So what I can do here is either wait for this guy, or I can just jump and use the spin slash as I land. There is actually another fire wheel right here, so you need to be careful to not get that if you want to try to kill your boss in one hit. I'm just going to use the spin slash on these guys, and I'm going to wait for a second, and then jump, and then spin slash, just like that. So there are parts in this game where you do need to wait. If you don't wait, you're probably going to end up dying. But kind of similar to the first boss, you can actually duck in front of this guy and not take any damage when he uses his weapon. Just like so. Now, interestingly, his weapon is actually a separate hitbox, and you can actually destroy his weapon, which is kind of interesting. So if you jump into him and try to use your spin slash, sometimes what happens is you end up not hitting him directly, you end up hitting his arm, you bust his arm off, and you haven't actually done any damage to him. So, but when that happens, he can't actually, you know, he's not able to actually attack you with his weapon because it no longer exists, which is nice. So that right there I just got is a hourglass. The hourglass allows you to basically freeze time for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds. And these guys up here, these enemies, they throw these weapons, and they're very dangerous. Their attack patterns are pretty much completely random. And so what I want to do is just show you this right here. This is, again, the fire wheel. That is really, really useful on the boss. Now, there's going to be another one I'm going to show you, just in case you happen to die at the next section. But it is there if you want to try to get it early. And yeah, this weapon, it feels like this boss was almost designed around this weapon. And you guys will see what I mean once we get there. So lots of spiritual energy. That was, again, a tenor. And that's just the point icon right there. And we're just going to keep running forward. Now, there is actually another windmill throwing star right here that you have to be careful about if you've got the fire wheel. Say we get the windmill throwing star like this. You know, it does come in handy for sure. Like, I just killed those guys pretty easily with it by jumping over it. But I lost my fire wheel. Now, in order to get another fire wheel, we just come on down here, attack this bird, and there's another one just like so. And we can go ahead and use it for some of these sections here. Now, I don't want to use too much of my spiritual energy. It's so weird calling it spiritual energy, but I decided to actually look up the item names in the instruction manual before doing this Let's Play. But yeah, it's called spiritual energy. These bazooka guys, they just fire on a timer, just like so. So, you know, it's just a simple rhythm there, so you just want to try to get in their face and attack them, you know, in between their shots. Here's another throwing star, which we don't want, and more spiritual energy right here. Now, this part gives a lot of new players trouble. So first, this cat comes from behind us, and you'll notice how Ninja Gaiden likes to just respawn enemies the second you cross a specific line. Very common issue with this game. But there's going to be a bird that's going to appear. And so what I want to do is actually wait for this guy to walk towards the right, and then jump and attack just like that. If you don't do that, there's a very, very high chance you're going to land on that guy and get knocked back into a pit. And so for this boss right here, and this goes for pretty much every boss in the game, he's got a really simple pattern. And so what you can do is just kind of sit here, wait for his projectiles, and do a ducking attack. And you'll actually have the top one just clear right over you if you time it just right. Now you can also use your fire wheel just like this. So this is why I want the fire wheel. This is kind of the slow way of doing it, but it's the safe way of doing it, which is good for new players. So that's why you want to get the fire wheel, so you can use it on this boss. It'll do about 3 hits if you have all the pieces of fire connect, or all the bits of fire, whatever you want to call it. And so you can actually take that boss down pretty quickly. Now there are better speedrun strats to where you can use the fire wheel and just do tons of damage really, really fast, but that's, again, a more advanced technique. So, now this part right here is also one of the earlier difficult parts. This guy just kind of trolls you. If you just jump straight in, he's going to hit you. But if you kind of push the screen back over, you can despawn him, just like so. And now that I know that he's going to appear there, I can jump early, just like that, and hit him without getting knocked back. When I was a kid playing this game, I got knocked into that pit so many times because my friends and I, we just didn't know any better. You know, we were, well, I was much younger back then, for one. But if we come up here and hit this candle, we can actually go ahead and get this invincibility fire wheel. And we can just drop down here. You don't even press the jump button to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Ooh, took a bunch of hits. So this is one thing about Ninja Gaiden is the playfield. If you let the enemies come out and you don't kill them, they can actually just overwhelm you very quickly. There's a bat right here. Oops. I'm going to say try to jump and slash into him, but man, my accuracy is just all over the place right now. That's okay. The good thing about a lot of these enemies in the game is that they usually only do 1 hit point of damage, and you have a big health bar in this game. The birds, on the other hand, they do, I think, 3 hit points, and so the birds are the most dangerous enemies in the game from just a damage standpoint. So this is where these green ninjas start to appear, and they pretty much appear for the rest of the game. They can be a little frustrating to deal with, but this is another part that's a little tricky. There's a bat that appears. So there are parts in this game where it's very beneficial to just stop in place and just wait for enemies to appear. And there's another fire wheel, just like that. And we will get ourselves a spin slash later on, and there's also a windmill throwing star. Pretty much all the weapons appear on almost every level in the game. And so I can use the fire wheel right there. Now there's also a hourglass right here, which again, freezes time. And so that gives you an opportunity to just run about halfway through this section without having to deal with enemies. But watch out for guys that fall from the sky. Oop. Man, what is wrong with my accuracy today? This is actually kind of one of the cool things, though, about the game. I mean, it's both a bad thing and a cool thing, but I can despawn enemies and kind of show you how it's supposed to be done. Or fail twice, back to back. Let's try it again. Boom, boom. And then I can actually jump, and then... Oops, I messed it up, actually. You can actually swipe that guy as well. Kind of swipe the candle and the bird at the same time. That power-up I just got, I haven't explained it yet. It's actually a health refill. Potions are health refills in this game. And now there are also extra lives. These are what the extra lives look like. So you'll find them over the course of the game as well. And they make a tiny little jingle sound. And let's go ahead and just jump up here. So now, I haven't really explained how, like, the wall jumping works in this game. And so when you hold on to a wall like this, you can't climb up or down. That was added into later Ninja Gaiden games. But if you hold down the A button and press left or right, depending on the wall that you're on, you can actually sort of climb your way up. Just go back, forth, just like so. And you'll go up the walls pretty quickly. That's also used on sort of these corridors that go vertically, as we're going to see right here. So just hold A, left, right, left. I'm going to wait for this guy, just like so. It's actually pretty easy to do it, and if you time it just right, you can actually climb your way up very, very quickly. And there's some points, and there's going to be some more spiritual energy here. One right there, and I believe this is a fire wheel. I don't want that. What I want to do is try to take the spin slash to the boss fight. I am starting to stutter. And use the spin slash here, just attack normally. Now, if I was kind of low on health, I could come here and not do that, but come here and get that potion. Now, there are a couple of different ways I can get back up. I can either take those stairs, or I can just climb up manually like this. This is one of the things I love about Ninja Gaiden, is the ability to just kind of climb over the place. And there we go, I just used the spin slash right there. There are some points. Points aren't really a big deal in this game. They don't do a whole lot for you. This is not a very good game to play for high score purposes. But yeah, there are point icons. This was in the era where arcades were still a thing, and you know, still quite popular. So You know, a lot of home console games back then still had a lot of arcade elements. So what I like to do is come over here just for fun and kill that guy. Sometimes there's actually a glitch where he disappears, then respawns back in, and then 3 of these guys are on the screen. Now, only one of these guys can be done damage to, and it's the guy on the left. So one thing that you can do is when the boss appears, is just do a spin slash right away. Just basically sit here, spin slash, and you beat the boss instantly. You know, if you want to have an easy time with this game, or easier time, use that spin slash. Know where the spin slashes are, and know how to use it against bosses. So another bat right there. This is another one of those gaps where you just kind of want to wait. And more green ninjas. Like I said, they appear for pretty much the rest of the game. And there's going to be a bird that spawns behind me, just like so, and another green ninja. I'm really having a hard time attacking those green ninjas successfully. I'm really mistiming my attacks. So there's this guy right here who is also tough to deal with, but again, with this windmill throwing star, you can kill him instantly. Unlike most enemies in the game, though, he actually takes 2 hits, I think, with your sword. Maybe even 3. I think it's just 2, but the windmill throwing star will actually kill him instantly. Again, lots of bats in this level, and for this part right here, this big gap, you can actually just jump straight down. The bird won't hit you, but you do have to make sure that you turn around so you can actually deal with the bird. Otherwise, he'll just, you know, cause havoc. Now, there is a bat right here. You have to just wait for this one and then you just jump over him. There are speedrun strategies where you can try to swipe through the bat, and here's another health potion right here. You can try to speedrun your way through the bat, but it's very, very risky, very dangerous, and I don't recommend it unless you're someone who's just trying to do some kind of world record run in this game. And look at that, I just despawned this guy, but just to, you know, demonstrate again, he'll respawn like this. And a lot of enemy attacks in this game are just on timers like so. And another strategy you can do is if you don't even want to deal with him, you just kind of go here and you jump, and you can actually just jump right over him. Now, I did touch him, but it is actually possible to do it without taking damage. So I'm just going to drop down here. Again, a lot of the strategies I'm trying to use in this game are relatively casual strategies, kind of quote-unquote playing the game normally. So this is going to be a spin slash right here, and sometimes I like to actually use it right there on that guy, because those little guys, they run across the screen and then they hop at you, and they're very, very dangerous. And that's a regular throwing star. I don't want that. And I just went ahead and ate some damage there. That was intentional. I don't really mind if I take much damage here, simply because there is going to be another health potion refill here. So just to take things safe, I'm going to go ahead and just attack those guys like that. And of course they respawn. You can either wait for the bat, or if you've got the spin slash like I do, you can actually just jump and slash right through him. Now there's actually a health potion right here. And you'll notice that these martial arts guys, I like to just do an attack just straight like this. I wait for them to jump, and then I attack them in the face just like that. Very consistent way of dealing with those guys, and here is our health refill right there. Now, there are 2 ways you can deal with this section. The old-fashioned way is to sort of drop and hang on to the left. I will show you a speedrun strategy here, though. We hop once, and then we hop again, then use the spin slash to get through that wall. Ooh, that was close. I was going to say I'm going to demonstrate it again, just to show you. Just like that. It's tricky. Both methods are tricky. The second method, or I should say the traditional method, I think is probably riskier, and it's the way I normally play the game. But again, since I've learned a few speedrun strategies over the years, I do find that the upper strategy is actually a little bit safer. Now, there are lots of items I can get here. What I want to do is just kind of save my my spiritual energy for this section right here. We've got a lot of these rocket ninjas, which can be a major pain to deal with. And so I like to just sort of spin slash through them. You'll notice that they shoot these shurikens, and those actually just kind of target you directly. And I can spin slash right here, spin slash right there, and then jump. Now there's actually an extra life up here, which I'm going to get. And if I was trying to get really stylish, I could try to carry the spin slash always all the way to the boss, but I'm not going to do that. And there's an extra life right there. Because getting this invincibility fire wheel actually makes this upcoming section a little bit easier. It requires a little less accuracy because of the size of your wheel here. So we run up just like that. We kill both of those gunners, and then I want to wait and then jump over this machine gunner right here. Very, very important to wait for that guy. Otherwise, you'll end up most likely slamming into him and then falling into a pit. And here's the fire wheel again. Don't really need it. For the boss, I'm just going to end up just swiping him over and over. And you guys will see what I mean once we get there. A couple of power-ups you can get here. Nothing too important, so I just skip this part. And we just run into the boss arena right here. So for this guy, you basically have to trade hits unless you've got the spin slash, and you can kill him instantly. So we just go up, we swipe 3 or 4 times, and as long as you can swipe 3 or 4 times, you're pretty much good to go. Now don't fall down that pit on the right there, because you will die. And there's a glitch in this game where, from what I understand, it was unintentional, where if you die at a boss, it sends you all the way back to the beginning of the level. And the most infamous example of that is this level right here, level 6. It's the longest level in the game, and if you die at the final boss, you get sent all the way back here. So I've got a little trick I like to do here. I like to jump and slash, slash, boom, boom, just like that. So again, that's a little bit of a speedrun technique right there, but that's just something I learned on my own. You'll also notice that in Ninja Gaiden, you can cut through enemies by jumping and slashing through them like that. The hitboxes are so large in this game that it is something that is very, very doable. And so I highly recommend getting used to that technique, jumping and slashing through enemies. For one, it's very useful. You know, sometimes it's safer to actually jump and slash through an enemy, but it also keeps your momentum up, and that makes Ninja Gaiden even more satisfying to play. Just keeping that momentum going. Definitely makes the whole game much more of an adrenaline rush, which is, you know, which is great for this kind of game. So for this guy right here, I like to just sort of just wait for him and then just fall next to him and then attack. The timing is somewhat strict, and I can do it again right here. Oops, I messed that up. So let's go ahead and try that again. Now I've got the spin slash, and I could go ahead and just use that, but I want to save my my spiritual energy for these space ninjas. I don't even know what you call them. The rocket ninjas. They are pretty funny enemies. I don't know of many games that have ninjas with rocket packs on their backs, but so for this guy right here, I can just use the spin slash, and now there's a bat right here I can try to trigger just like so. And that was actually very dangerous. I shouldn't have done that. I should have jumped forward and used my spin slash, but I didn't. Definitely, my mind is drawing a blank right now sometimes. So yeah, one little trick you can do here is just jump straight into that ladder, and it'll just take you right up. So you don't actually have to drop down. You can just latch right onto it. So I'm going to just wait for this guy right here. Again, there's a lot of waiting in this game. So, you know, you've got plenty of time typically. But this is one of the more infamous sections of Ninja Gaiden. There's a part coming up here that is just very nasty for new players, and it involves this guy right here. You notice that he keeps clipping like that. He basically disappears and then reappears. If I position the screen just enough, hey, look at that. He's gone. We don't actually have to deal with him anymore. But you do have to deal with his bird still. So, again, memorization is also a big part of this game. You know, that bird, like, yeah, you might have been able to just make that enemy despawn. But if you don't know the bird's there, you're still going to take damage. And there's actually a health refill right here as well. Now keep in mind this doesn't refill all of your health, but it refills a lot of it, probably at least 2/3 of it, just about. Yeah, so sometimes I like to get this fire wheel here because there is actually another spin slash opportunity at the end of this stretch here. That's kind of the more casual way to play it. Normally what I would do is I would go and I'd do some crazy damage boost or something like that, but this is where the spin slash is here. Then there's actually a fun trick you can do here. I'm going to use the spin slash to get through that fireball. You can actually land up here and then just jump straight over. So sometimes that's actually a lot easier to get past that section. You can do the same thing up here. This is another speedrun technique. But these some speedrun techniques in Ninja Gaiden are kind of casual techniques, just a lot of people haven't figured them out. And so you can use them in casual runs. You know, that's what's fun about watching speedrun videos in particular, is you know, you can pick up on some tricks that maybe aren't all that complex, but you can apply them to just your standard playthroughs. And some of this stuff, like, we just picked up on back in the day, just because we played this game a lot. But there are many more speedrun advanced techniques, very advanced damage boosts that involve, you know, baiting birds into certain positions, getting hit by them, which boosts you up higher, and things like that. Some very advanced stuff. There's a health refill right here, and I'm going to use my spin slash to get through those guys. Now there's a trick here as well, which I also learned from speedrunning the game. But again, you can apply it to a regular run. If you just hold right, you'll just go right to the boss door. Yeah, you take about, you know, 4 to 6 hits, as long as you've got 4 to 6 blocks of health, or 7 blocks of health at least. You're guaranteed to get into the boss door. And what's cool about going into the boss door is your health is refilled on the final boss. So a couple things I wanted to show you on this guy right here. So you need to go for the core, but you can actually try to spin slash this guy here, and you will actually kill him, but he'll just respawn. And let's see if I can get it one more time. Boom, just like that. So when you fight this guy, you just want to go for the core. Don't bother going for the guy on the ground. If you don't have the spin slash, there is a maneuver where you can try to press down and B at the same time repeatedly, so you can do multiple slashes in the air. Most useful on that part right there. But having the spin slash and killing that guy in one hit is the best way to go. Now this is probably the most infamous part in Ninja Gaiden, is Jakio. Which is the second phase of our final boss rush. So what he does is he shoots these fireballs down towards the ground, and they'll have a tendency of clipping off the screen completely, and that's the trick with this guy. You need to watch the fireballs, and sometimes you'll have to go through the fireballs, other times you can just dodge them to the left or right, just like so. And you just jump up and swipe him once, and it's just rinse and repeat. You've got a ton of time to do this, and this gives a lot of people trouble, and it gave me a lot of trouble when I was a kid. This was my roadblock at beating this game when I was younger. It was like the big roadblock. But then once I figured it out, I was like, oh, that's actually really easy. Notice how I'm just walking to the left, walking to the right. Sometimes you can squeeze between the fireballs just like that. But basically, you need to stay on the bottom. You need to stay on the ground. And by doing so, the fireballs will have a more direct, vertical arc. It's when they start going to the left and right, like this, that they start becoming much more dangerous. They'll actually stay on the screen and home around, and I'm actually not able to replicate it. I'm trying to get them to just float around the screen and chase me. But trust me when I say it happens, and that's how I think most people die at this boss. Now you'll notice that his fireballs only do 1 block of health, so I've got like 15 or 20 hits I can take, however many blocks of health I have. So, that boss in particular is about playing slow and safe and just avoiding the fireballs and just being patient. The fireballs come down at the same rate, so it's one comes down, then it waits like 2 or 3 seconds, then another comes down, waits 2 or 3 seconds, another one comes down. It's a very simple pattern. It's very easy to get around if you're playing smart. So Ninja Gaiden is not all about aggression, it's about being smart about what you're doing. Let's go ahead and skip this, hit the start button. This is our final boss, and so what we need to do is actually hit his head, and we have to watch out for these fireballs that come out. And actually, they're probably not fireballs. I'm just going to call them fireballs. They're not all that detailed. But after we hit the head, which forces us to take 1 block of damage, we can just swipe the tail just like so, and then just jump and hit his core just like this. Now, like some other parts of the game, you need to kind of take your time here and, just be smart about what you're doing. Alright, so now one last trick you can do here is actually jump on top of the final boss to claim your victory. That's optional, but it is a nice little thing that you can do in this game. And it's just fun. So, but yeah, that is Ninja Gaiden, guys. I mean, the nature of this game, I think, makes it a little bit more difficult to explain. I actually wanted to do like a beginner's tutorial on the game, scripted and all that stuff, but I also wanted some new content for my new Let's Play format here. So I wanted to do a game I was familiar with, and so here we are. Here we are with Ninja Gaiden. So let me know what you thought of the playthrough. For those of you guys that are new to this game, hopefully, the tips and stuff I talked about here will help you. Hopefully, with like the zoom-ins and things like that, you guys will have a better idea of what I'm talking about. And for those of you guys that haven't played in a while, but do want to come back to it, hopefully this will help you get back up to speed faster. And for everyone else watching, well, hopefully you enjoyed the playthrough regardless. Don't mind me. I can't talk sometimes, and this is one of those days where I can't seem to string sentences and words together. It's kind of a crapshoot. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to post them down below. Really appreciate you guys watching. I don't really have much else to say here, so yeah, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. I've got lots of Let's Plays like these and many, many more to come. For everyone already subbed, as usual, thank you for your continued support. And I guess until the next one, guys, take it easy.